same thing.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Stefan Grosjean. I am founder and CEO of Smappee. And I bring you back a bit more in the Western world, I mean away from Africa. We have solutions for our own way of consuming. Of course, they can be used in Africa. It's about how blockchain could contribute to decentralized energy generation. But maybe first say something about myself. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Smappee is my second, third, fourth enterprise. I have 25 years of experience in meter data management, smart metering, energy efficiency with my former team. And I've learned a lot of things about how we can use energy information, energy intelligence, and help companies save energy. I've seen savings of up to 40% by doing best of breed comparison. This store consumed 20% less than this one. Why is that? Well, the store is built in this shape and they use this air conditioning equipment, so let's apply that everywhere else. And so they were capable to reduce consumption by 40%, 45% in some cases. And I wanted to apply this experience to the homeowners, to individuals who also have capabilities of reducing their energy consumption, the footprint, and especially also with the decentralized energy generation that we see coming. We're going to renewable energy with some challenges. I wanted to kind of create a solution that would disrupt and speed up this transition. And that's the idea with, again, with Smappee. As said, I think we have no doubts about the fact that climate change is happening. It seems that the Americans today have decided to withdraw from Paris, which is a shame. But
the Americans.
Okay, it's a shame. But we go on, and we will see a landscape of renewable energy with wind, solar, mainly, and that's fantastic. But the big difference with nuclear or coal is that with nuclear or coal, you had a button to start the generation and you had electricity when you wanted. The inverse is now the situation. We don't, well, at least if someone knows, I haven't found that button in the clouds to turn on the wind because there's no wind, we need electricity, so turn it on. I haven't found it. If someone had, please tell me. We can make some money with this information. And it's the same for the sun. We haven't found that button to make the sun shine and produce energy on our solar panels. So the button is not there. There's, of course, a number of solutions. We can store that energy at grid level, but that has a cost. We can, and that is discussions that are going on, we can have much more windmills and much more solar powers that even with slight wind and slight sun, we have enough capacity. And this is where we're heading to, 6 times over capacity, which means that the electricity will be very expensive because we just oversize the generation to make sure that we have enough in many cases. I think we should avoid that, and there are possibilities to avoid it. If you look at the residential homes, 40% of the consumption of a country is 40-45% is in the homes that we have, and also 40% of the home energy consumption can be shifted with demand response. That means that we have a lot of capabilities there to avoid a number of batteries, and I think with the smart grid heading towards decentralized energy generation in those homes, we also have to avoid that this energy, if you have a lot of sun and wind, flows back into the grid because the cables can't cope with that electricity that comes from bottom back and back top into the grid. The grids have been designed to distribute the energy from top to down. So that means that we are incentivized constantly to use the electricity that we generate in the homes, to use it also there as much as possible. And that is what the smart meters will do. It will make sure that if there is a problem, electricity will become very expensive so that you're incentivized to not use it and keep that grid somewhere in balance. that's what's heading, so critical peaks, and therefore we believe that in this new grid we will need technologies like, for instance, the Smappee, that are not just logging information, but can also act in that smart home and turn off the air conditioning, or for 10 minutes you won't feel it, or if the electric vehicle is charging and there is a critical peak for 15 minutes, half an hour, well, then maybe just stop charging the car. Also, another thing that is happening, if we all go to more CO2 neutral things, or no CO2 emissions, and we go to electric vehicles, we heat with electricity instead of gas, we will triple the energy consumption, electric energy consumption in the homes. The grid can't supply that. Again, means we need to decentralize the generation and use it locally, but also in your home, when your car will be charging and your heat pump starts, and you turn on the microwave to start cook, well, bang, your fuse will go up. So there's also comfort aspect. And this is what we believe is going to happen in the homes. We'll have to, a bit like in Africa, but at a higher amount of watts. We also have to manage the availability or non-availability of that electricity in the grid. So same kind of problem, and we know that people, do people really care about energy or climate? Some do, 5–10%. The others will. If it's really financially penalizing, they'll say, okay, we'll stop consuming. So the financial aspect is really tough and linked, and therefore we believe that if we do things and control things, we should include that financial aspect. And one of the good technologies there, simple good, as we heard, is, and you don't need infrastructure, clearing houses, and all other regulation mechanisms, is to use blockchain technology. We strongly believe that solar coin is a good thing. We supported that, as we have tens of thousands of Smappee users having solar. We kind of told them, hey, we support solarcoin.org. We think this is a good thing. François will explain what this is. And we offer you the possibility to simplify the registration process. We see you have solar production. You know, each time you have 1,000 kilowatt hours, we'll submit that. Actually, we submit every 10 kilowatt hours to the solarcoin.org, which brings that generation into a blockchain and creates fractions of solar coins that come back to the users. I'll show you live, maybe the app as it speaks. Maybe I'll go right now just to give you a glimpse or make it a bit more practical. Oh, did I do something wrong? Fine. So, and now I hope I don't get a weird message on my phone. Okay, so it's happy. This is the app. I'm connected to a home. You see, we have still, the sun is really getting less strong, but it's still 89 watts, and the consumption is 232 watts with a standby power, which is the always on. You have, you know, TV and so that is on, and or even off, but still you think it's off. 120 watt in that specific home is the consumption that you see here. And yes, we collect, of course, information and graphs. So you can see this is the solar production. It's based on 5 minutes, but and you see very sunny days with the green production. The gray is the consumption, and the blue band is the deepest level that you go at night, that's the power that is always required in your home, that is always used by all the appliances that are still in the system. So just don't want to go too much in a commercial thing, or I just wanted to show that the orange bubble, 1.85, is the amount of solar coins that this solar installation has received. What do we see as a future with this? One of the things we've done with maybe the specifics of Smappee, which I believe are important, is that we use disaggregation technology. We have one sensor just around the main cable goes into the home, and we use the Shazam trick. You know Shazam, the app?
Yep.
You don't know the song, and it's checking and then says, oh, that's Pink Floyd. Or not a brick in the wall. Well, we do the same. We say, oh, that's your fridge, and this, oh, this is your freezer turning on, and this might be the lights. We don't know if it's the living room or so, that we can't say, but we're pretty sure it's lights, because it's we look 4,000 times to the volts and amps, and we see constant analysis and harmonics and all those things. And we can identify and classify the different loads using deep learning, artificial intelligence. By doing this, we get insights to the people that make their awareness bigger. They have 12% savings on average, because now they understand and they can answer the question, okay, that's my bill, but where does that energy flow? So I think that's the best energy. It's called white energy. And you have green energy, which is renewable, but white energy is the energy you avoid to even consume. It's even better. It's white. It's brighter. It's white. So I think this is an important thing, but it brings a lot of new capabilities. First, we can show, for instance, how the consumption is. Let's go to a specific month instead of a day. Let's take the month of April, and then the system will say, hey, in the month of April you consumed, it's retrieving, sorry for how time it takes, it's retrieving the total amount of electricity and solar, and I should be able to see, oh, how much electricity we have and how much goes to the different appliances on that specific day or specific month. So we split it up, and that would open up a possibility in a future system that a fridge manufacturer that really says this is a AAA. Maybe we can say, you know, I buy the fridge. You say it's a lifetime of 15 years. I buy it with 15 years of lifetime, and you know, you pay the bill, because we have that thing that disaggregates, and we no longer buy energy, but we buy services. We buy fridges and services, maybe the heat pump manufacturer, because we see a lot of Smappees installed with people having heat pumps. Of course they consume more electricity, a lot more electricity, because yeah, they were using gas before that to heat the home. So lots of surprises. They tripled the invoice for electricity, and you say, wow, that can't be the case. So there we could say, and we know that, we have noticed that if it's not really well tuned, the electricity consumption can be really bad. So there we could go for services. Say we guarantee you per delta T, if you want 22 degrees and it's 16 outside, for so many degree days difference over the whole year, we guarantee you this price. And we purchase the electricity in the grid, and we can even do some demand response, because if there is an outage or a risk, we will resell the capability to turn off the heat pump for 15 minutes, or we will anticipate it and turn it off on for you and make sure that you have 22 degrees, 1 degree excess, and store, instead of storing energy in batteries, we'll store it in heat in your building and manage all that for you. You just pay the service. So looking, sub-metering into the home is, I believe, an important additional piece of information that can turn buying and using energy into buying services, managing it, and having it managed by specialists that make money on it and contribute to a better, smarter, renewable, energy-based grid. I'll leave it there, and let's go back to 2-3 slides. I haven't noticed. Do I have 2 minutes left? Okay. I forgot to run my timer, because when I get the word, I can't stop. Promise, I will keep it short. So, do I have to press another button? No, it's there. As said, we support SolarCoin. We think it's not just an interesting subsidy to give to our customers and motivate them to install solar. We believe that if you have solar coins, maybe, and I charge my car, at my friend's base, who of course also has a Smappee, that maybe I won't pay the car charge, the kilowatt hours that I put in my car by debiting my solar coins and crediting his. This is a possible transaction that can be done today because we don't have this regulatory system in the middle, a grid that makes it impossible. So I think we should all try to plead and lobby and make it possible to have more microgrids, or at least regulated situations where within, let's say, 1 mile, 2 kilometers, if you put your solar panels on the roof of your supermarket where you go shopping, because you live in an apartment, you'd love to have solar panels, but you can't. You don't have a roof. I mean, you have 10 people living above you. That if you do this, you can do it, and that it is financially okay. Now the payback would be 5 to 7 years, depending on the countries. But if you have in your electricity bill, the transport and distribution is generally 50–60% of what you pay. So that would make 7 years, 14 years, and people don't do it. I think we have to go and lobby, make it possible to say, I have a fraction of a solar roof on the supermarket where I love to go shopping because there's an investment there. A bit the same as the seed concept, but this is the Western version of it, the European version of it. And make it possible for those people to invest, participate in it, and have the green bubble that is measured by another Smappee or another device on the roof of the supermarket, but updates these specific users' home as if the panels would be in the home. And that, of course, needs to be verified, needs to be controlled, and I believe, again, as a blockchain technology that makes it open, transparent, possible to be verified by the many parties is a solution to use. So that's why we have this initiative, Solar Coin, that we said it's great, we want to support it, and we have a lot of ideas to use it because we will pay the car and hopefully collect a lot of those coins and maybe one day buy furniture or something in the supermarket where they say, oh yeah, you can use your solar coins, why not? You can pay with euros, dollars, solar coins. That's what we hope should come. So those challenges, we know it, I think I've spoken about it, I've demoed this live. Solar coin, I think Francois will speak about it. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's that's Francois' task to explain what, sorry for you guys. I mean, you can convert the solar coins to real euros and dollars, but again, I don't want to take the pitch of Francois away. And maybe final, where we're heading, we see a Smappee system as that energy traffic controller in the home, where with smart fridges coming, with communicating cars that are electric and charging, that taking into account the price with smart contracts in blockchain, or signals from the grid, that it's expensive, that a controller like a Smappee device, and another, we can't be the only one, would be the system that gets signals, takes decisions and says, okay, it's Wednesday afternoon, I've checked with the car is charged, that's okay for the Wednesday afternoon, because it's always like this, I'll stop charging the car, I'll do this and manage the use of energy in an as good as possible way, with respect for the comfort of the people, because if you touch the comfort, they bypass the system. It's very important to make sure that this remains and make this regulation possible without having overcapacity, over batteries, higher costs of energy. And by the way, we all think we need a reliable grid. Do we? I mean, do we need to make sure that you can't have 4 or 5 outages of an hour in the winter? I'm not sure. Maybe some people would say, you know, instead of doubling the cost of the infrastructure to guarantee those 4 hours, maybe you give me €200 cheaper energy and I go to the restaurant 4 times a year, where this guy will have a battery and a system to make sure he can cook and give us a meal. It's like an insurance. I think people need to choose, not the system. But that's another discussion. So I think this is what I wanted to contribute. We're interfacing to smart home systems with the idea to manage the electricity use in the home, to make a smarter grid with the difficulty of the wind and the sun, where we haven't found the button yet. If we can't turn them on, we need to turn off and manage the energy use in the homes. That's what we intend to do with that Smappee system, where users of the system, consumers, producers of energy that sell energy to each other in a peer-to-peer way using blockchain-like technology. I think this is where we are heading to. Well, thank you for your attention.
Any questions?
Yes.
So just a few questions to your system. The first one, is it just an inductive coil with you measuring the energy?
It is. We measure the voltages as well. I mean, through the power cord, because I mean, otherwise you don't know the direction of the current. So we have a volt and amps, and yes, it is a coil, but it is a system that is used by class 0.2 meters in industry as well. I mean, a current transformer is very accurate, and it has to be accurate. We have 24 bits accuracy in the measurements to really find down to 20 watts the signatures of appliances.
I'm one of the happy customers. I can confirm that the technology works.
Okay.
The technology is great.
Oh,
we may want to talk about user experience stuff, but
okay.
that maybe will be later.
Yes, yes.
The technology is great.
So you're able to add it to any home in this case?
Yeah, I mean, we are in 85 countries because we sell online over Amazon or on, and we have had all grid systems. I mean, the American, the split phase, the single, in 115, 60 hertz, 230, I mean, 3-phase, star, yes. And of course, you know, the difficulty is we have Shazam works for one song, and it shouldn't be too noisy. We have 20 songs at the same time. The dishwasher is running and the TV is on, and then your daughter is, doing the hair, and so we have on average 20 machines at the same time. So the disaggregation of those things is getting pretty complex.
How long does it take on average?
It's auto-learning as well. I mean, Smappee is collecting and then says, oh, I've seen that 20 times, and presents it. The cloud sees, oh, this is a fridge, typically, and then we auto-label. That is not since the beginning, but I think 6 months from now, we auto-label fridges, freezers, microwave. We say this is probably light because it's resistive. This is a motor. We can't say it's your garage door or it's your lawnmower, but we say it's a motor. It takes 1 week to 3 weeks to collect, I would say, 30, 40 appliances.
Okay.
We sometimes still miss because the dishwasher is a heating element and a motor, and we say this is your toaster, but we're working on a higher level disaggregation where, I mean, we do the disaggregation on real time, and we're now looking at combinations. If this and this happens, well, then it's not the toaster because we see the pump and this, so this is the dishwasher. We're finalizing this, and this is coming and should make it better to improve the user experience there.
Yes. Thank you. One final question. So it's due to the business model monetization. So once you identified the different machines or energy users, do you act as an, let's say, affiliate, and you say you need to buy another dishwasher, buy this one?
No, we haven't done any monetization yet because we don't have sufficient data. People are not ready for this. We don't find partners yet. The only monetization we could do is that we have tested in Belgium is because we have all kilowatt hours data, is to interface to a tariff checkup service and say this is anonymous data, but this is the kilowatt hours, and it's a bot that talks and says, okay, what's your zip code, do you want to check electricity and gas, and then we say, what's your supplier? Oh, this would be, you would say 150 euro if you switch to this one. If you want to do it, then we can get a commission on this, but it's better for the customer because he knows in advance how much he will save, and from then on, additional questions will be asked that are necessary to make the switch. So far, we keep the things anonymous. It's just a serial number of the unit. And more I won't tell because there's maybe hackers in the room here. First rule is don't tell how you do your security. Yes?
Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, that was my question too.
Okay, well I won't answer everything.
Because the data you're collecting is highly personalized.
Yeah.
It is,
And
absolutely.
In
And we-
Germany, there are higher regulations on personalized data.
Absolutely, and it's always an opt-in. I mean,
Amazon selling a camera to put in your bedroom, so...
yeah, you see a lot of things, and you know, for a smart home, it is very interesting. Now, what is the reason that we looked at electricity? People, you know, energy, they don't care. You've got two numbers at the end of the year, typically. You've got an invoice with day and night rates, hoog, laag tarief, and that's all. And it was not always after 12 months, sometimes 13 months, depending on when they came to read the meter. And so people had surprises, didn't understand electricity. Now they understand it. And that's why they change behavior. And just by changing behavior, they have those 12% savings. Now, what was it I wanted to say? I lost my...
Security, data, that we already have the data in the invoice, aggregated over the year.
Yes, well, and indeed, imagine that your banker would give you two numbers. The sum of the whole year, how much money went into your account and how much left, but without details where it comes from, and tells you, you know, trust us, it's okay, but we can't tell you where it comes from. That is what happens with electricity. That's what we're changing, and makes people aware, have a short feedback. And I think this is important, yeah.
Guys, let's bring the discussion offline because
Yes.
we still have three interesting talks.
I'm
We
sure.
are way
Okay, thank you.
late.